everyone, I'm Captain Logan, and welcome back to The Day Ghost.
Oh, welcome back to me. Today I am the reading ghost, sir, because I am ready to read.
What are we reading today, Austin?
Um, Something that probably makes more sense than the movie that this written thing is about. I don't know what that sentence was, but there you go. We're reading kids' reviews of Batman v Superman.
We're going to see what kids thought contemporarily of Batman v Superman a few years ago when this came out, and this is from commonsensemedia.org, which is a website that helps parents determine whether movies are appropriate for their children. So they have reviews from adults and from kids, so there's a section for both. So as we're looking at these reviews, on the left it tells you how old the kid actually is that did the review, and then here where it says 6+, that's how old the kid doing the review thinks that kids should be before they watch the movie. So this kid with a 1-star review thinks that you can be 6 and watch BVS. And part of the reason I wanted to do this, Austin, besides the fact that my wife found this and read me a couple of these, and I kind of lost it, and I thought it would be fun to read some of these on camera. And I've not read all of the reviews that we will probably look at. We'll look at some negative ones and some positive ones. We'll just go through this and find a few. There's like 150. We'll just find a few that seem fun. But part of the reason I wanted to do this is because this was a movie that was marketed to children that I think absolutely should not have been marketed to children.
Yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely. It's like Batman Returns, right? Like it's just how is this for children? Why was this marketed for children? Like,
And that
just
kind
very
of, like,
strange.
if we can push the line that far, it seems like until you get into just an arbitrary rated R category, like, they won't do that with the Batman, of course. That will be a Deadpool situation. But but like, as long as the rating is PG-13, I mean, frankly, it's like you said with Returns, like, it's not the first time that happened. Rises was also a problem.
Yeah.
And
When
even
Dark
Dark
Knight
Knight,
had it too, yeah.
maybe to a degree, but like even that I can see showing to kids more than the things like Rises, I think.
Oh, okay, yeah, because I was just turning 11 when Dark Knight came out, and I remember like there were like all the toys and stuff and like the coloring books.
Yeah. And the Rises storybook that guts the entire story and just goes, Batman goes into the sewer and he fights Bane. The end. Like, he doesn't get his back broken, like nothing, like nothing. All right, so you ready to do some reading?
Yeah, I'm ready for kids review the darndest things.
All
Let's
right,
go.
exactly. All right, so here's this first one, 1-star review. One of the worst films ever. This is from an 11-year-old kid. Firstly, I hate this film. They strayed too far from the original comic this time, and the story makes no sense. There is no intense themes in the film. Okay. The violence is so mild, don't even worry. It's not dark or scary. Maybe 5 years old and under would find it intense, but there is no themes that would be too intense. 6+.
You can tell this was written by a preteen. This isn't
I,
even violent, man.
I agree surprisingly with only half of this 1-star BVS review.
I mean, I agree. There's no intense themes. There are themes, but they're not intense.
It makes no sense, and I mean I don't even necessarily agree with strayed too far from the original comic. Like that's whatever, but because of course you can do that and still tell a great story. But
Well, when you're a kid, you're like, what is this? This isn't my comic.
uh, 10-year-old kid, 4 stars out of 5. Bat of Gotham and Man of Steel versus a fun movie. Okay, when I heard about a Batman v Superman, I think this could be awesome. So I decide, present tense. So I decide I should see this movie. I beg and beg to see this movie, and when I see it, I'm like, what? This is, period, dark, and has way too much violence. Like every 10 minutes. There's someone who dies, and there is some nudity, but Jesse Eisenberg does a good Lex. But see it on DVDs. And if you want good Batman, see Batman Begins. And for a good Superman, see Man of Steel. There are some disturbing death scenes. But 4 stars.
My favorite thing is that he recommends it for 12 and up, and he's 10.
This was not appropriate. That's probably why you gave it 4 stars. I wasn't even supposed to be watching this. This is awesome.
This title contains violence and scariness, sexy stuff, and language.
All right, Austin, find us one, man. Why don't you read one?
Here, let's see. I don't know. Are you seeing a good one that for me to read? I'm just gonna skimming stuff.
Teen, 16 years old, 5-star review.
Okay, you want me to go to that one?
The title
Okay.
is. I'm just gonna read this real quick because it's so short.
Okay.
The title is "Good Luck, Marvel."
Oh, okay. I was the one above it. Which was
DC
just the
has created a film that I adore more than both Avengers films combine. I just love. Good luck, Marvel.
Okay, here, let's Teen 13, 3 stars. It's okay. It never seems to end, and there's barely and fighting between Batman and Superman like 8 minutes. Then they go and fight a big creepy looking hulkish dude and the dude that a very disappointing Lex Luthor.
Luthor.
Then there is a very sad death, and it pushes you onto a very mean cliffhanger. But not really, because it was very easy to tell what was about to happen. So it was fine, but not DC greatest movie.
It's a very disappointing Lex Luthor. It's a very mean cliffhanger, but not really because I knew what was going to happen. He's
like 8 minutes.
He probably means it's not like he's going to stay dead. Like, I'm sure that's what he's talking about, right?
Yeah, no, that has to be what it is.
Oh, that's
you got a
great.
very creepy gray guy.
The best DC Comics movie ever made. Teen, 14 years old. This movie is extremely awesome, but there is some intense violence and mild bad language. There is occasional blood, and it can be really scary or intense for very young children. Recommended for ages 11 and older.
Okay, I got this one. Okay,
that's probably fair. There was nothing funny in that one. Go ahead. What'd you find?
This one. Okay, Teen. It's the one underneath. Teen,
Okay.
14 years old. Best DC movie yet. Really awesome. Super violent, like guns and a lot of guns. People dying. Explosions. Really bad explosions. Sexuality is not much, but the part where he is with Lois in the bathtub, it's literally only 2 minutes and 9 seconds long. Does not show that much though. Overall, I think this movie is 11 and up. My dad and my little brother loved it. Great movie. Awesome discoveries in the middle of the movie.
I don't know what that means. What did we discover? Granny's peach tea? Like,
you can tell this was written by a 14-year-old because he like mostly talks about the bathtub scene.
He's like, there's this scene where there's a woman that's not wearing clothes in it.
And it was literally like only 2 minutes. Like, come on.
Now, to be fair, the point of this website is to tell people like what explicit stuff is in it.
Yeah.
So I mean that is what the kid is supposed to do. Some of these don't even hardly do that, where it's just like, that was awesome or that was awful. Teen, 13 years old. This title contains positive messages and positive role models. Yeah, not so much. Let's go on to the next page, shall we?
Yeah.
We'll read a few more of these. Doesn't deserve a PG-13 rating. It isn't that violent. It should be PG at the most. 11-year-old kid.
Hardcore kid.
Age 8+. If that kid had grown up in the 90s, he would have been like, I hope the sequel to Spawn is more brutal. It's one of my favorite reviews I've ever seen of anything.
That's great. Okay, Teen, 14 years old, 1 star. Uneven, badly written, and chaotic DC movie. Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice is a 2016 movie directed by Zack Snyder and starring Ben Affleck, Henry Cavill, Gal Gadot, Jesse Eisenberg, Amy Adams, and Diane Lane. Oh, there's more. I thought that was just. Oh, I'm not reading this whole
Yeah,
thing.
that's gonna
I
be a.
thought it
I
was
can
just
tell that's gonna be
that.
a long one. I don't know where you're even at right now.
Yeah, no, never mind. Forget that. I'm avoiding this one. I thought he literally just listed the actors.
Kid 10 years old, not a 12 plus. You'd think it's a good film, a battle between Batman and Superman, but it's actually very violent and a lot of punching, and there's only one fight between them. Plus, most of the film is violence. So there's a massive disagreement going on with this website on not only how bad the violence is, but whether or not there is any.
Oh, this 8-year-old like put in a swear word and censored it.
Really? Where are you seeing that? Is it on the same
The
page?
one underneath what you wrote. Thrilling but dark. This is 4 stars from an 8-year-old. Thrilling but dark, intense mashup is promising. Parents need to know the Batman v Superman is definitely long awaited, but it is also very violent. There are several scenes of intense violence, including large scale destruction, which ends up in brutality. There are several scenes. Oh, that's no. Some blood is shown, and there's a few sad deaths in this film. There's definitely positive role models, though it is still a versus movie. They are still trying to save the universe and sacrifices.
They're trying to
There's,
save some sacrifices.
yeah, they're gonna save them. They're trying to sacrifice Lois to King Kong.
Yeah, right. She's the key, just not in the way
Yeah,
we thought.
there is some sexual innuendo. How do you know you're 8? Including when Clark
It's
and
a pretty
Lois
good
are
writer for 8, man. I gotta say.
okay, but Clark and Lois in the bathtub together is not
That's not
innuendo at that
innuendo.
point.
No, but I'm just saying the caliber
No,
of the
no.
writing is not bad for 8.
And you can see many kisses and bare legs during this scene.
We're really concerned about that bathtub scene.
Also, some drinks, but not too much. Plus, DC merchandising and some product placements.
Wait, where's the DC merchandised the film? Sure.
Language is sparse, but does not include hell and damn, and maybe more. But again, this is very dark and violent, and maybe a bit too much for younger kids. Yes, Ben Affleck stinks at acting, as Christian Bale did a much better job.
Let's go on to the third page. We'll do
Oh
one
my
more page of
god.
these.
Oh my god.
What'd you find?
He
What'd you
put,
find?
this title contains consumerism. Did you jump to page 3?
Yeah, I did. It's a Hollywood movie. Let's see, a teen, 13 years old, age 13 plus. Too long. This movie's like 2 hours and 30 minutes. The reason that's a problem is because it's slow and boring in some scenes. That's not a problem with Infinity War, because Marvel actually keeps the story going, even in the most stiffest scenes. Still, there's awesomeness when the action scenes come. I like this one in present tense. This 1-star review from a 13-year-old. It's boring me. The worst DC film I've ever seen. Just right now. It's boring me.
I got one kid, 12 years old, 5 stars.
Where you
For
saying that?
it's a bit further down.
There it is.
Oh, you're right there. Yeah.
Yep.
For ages 8 and up, this movie is easily a 5-star movie. The only bad things in this movie were use of the D word and S word once or twice. This movie is also violent, but there is barely any blood or gore. You got
Trying
some
to decide if that's a good thing or
positive
not.
messages and positive role models.
Teen, 15 years old, 1-star review. The title is Blah.
Yeah.
He threw up in text. Awful film with little to no redeeming qualities. The most wretched interpretation of heroism I've ever seen in cinema. A slovenly mess of pretentious Bible references, self-important world building, and just
Teen 13, 2 stars, the one underneath. Okay at start, but stupid ending. First of all, Superman says Martha. Then Batman doesn't kill him because his mom's name is Martha. That is stupid. Why doesn't he just kill him?
14-year-old, this is kind of a middle of the road review. Just fine, too much marketing made it worse. It's interesting they keep going to the marketing, because that doesn't have anything to do with what's in the film. It's almost like I was so inundated with it, but that's fair. I mean, do you remember the week that came out? Like, you couldn't walk 6 feet. I mean, it was episode 1 all over again.
Yeah, it was Amazing Spider-Man 2, but not as bad.
Yeah, I mean, like, it was Spaceballs, right? It was like BVS, the breakfast cereal.
Merchandising.
Yeah. Just fine. Too much merchandising made it worse. Oh, this kid watched the Ultimate Edition. Oh, that's weird. So he's writing this in 2018 and complaining about the merchandising. It's really interesting. Batman v Superman, by the title, promises a great deal of thrill, but isn't too thrilling. The visuals are amazing, and I agree, and the action scenes are pretty good. It is only made more awesome by the brilliant music by Hans Zimmer and Junkie XL, but the below average storytelling ruins a perfectly good story.
Okay. There's one kid that like lists the runtime as the ultimate cut, but says it's a hard PG-13.
Weird. The overall theme is dark, which really works on the side of Batman, but ruins Superman. Man of Steel was better in tone. Batman is the best in this movie. Just 2 instances of language. Yada, yada, yada. Yeah, okay. Still ruins expectations for superhero battle of the century. So much hype, but disappointment. This 14-year-old kid. I have one word for this movie, and that word is trash.
Yes. The one I got, the last one on this page.
Okay.
It's 12 years old, 3 stars. It is fine, but not the best movie made by DC. Batman vs. Superman is a fine movie, but not as good as the other DC movies. It has good qualities, a lot of rising action and suspense. When I first saw it, I didn't really get what the plot was, and I was really confused.
Me neither, dude! I still don't!
I was really confused when they had Wonder Woman come in. Then I watched Wonder Woman, and then I rewatched Batman vs. Superman, and it was much better. I hope you consider rewatching it.
Oh, wow. Okay, now I know you don't like Wonder Woman, but I don't think you would agree with that.
No. Definitely not.
Okay, I said we just do one more page. Let's look at 4 and see if we can find like 2 or 3 more.
Yeah, let's do it.
This is kind of fun. Teen, 13 years old, 4-star review. Thought it was awesome. I love this movie. Besides all the unnecessary violence, I thought the story was fascinating. I thought the movie was fascinating. It is extremely violent. It is mostly in the first hour or so. In the movie, that's the worst. Batman shoots people. May want to skip certain scenes with younger ones. He said 13 plus. That's fair. The tone throughout is dark, but works really well. The scene of Lois and Clark in the tub isn't that bad, though perhaps with younger children. Overall, I thought it was dark, but great. Beware of violence. Hope you enjoy. God, everybody's talking about that tub.
Kid 11, 3 stars. I watched this when I was 9. In theater, in IMAX with my parents and 17-year-old sibling. Nothing to be worried about. This movie is a very interesting movie, other than those awkward moments like the bathtub scene. It is a great movie.
God, just these kids can't deal with that bathroom scene.
That's like 2 minutes, kids. Come on.
3 star. I love this. I love writing a review, like recommending a thing based on specific things you said to people. 8-year-old kid, great movie. When I am talking about this movie, I say it was a good movie. In fact, I would say this movie is amazing. But when I talk Ultimate Edition, I say, they say it's 30 more minutes of extra filming, when actually it's more like 30 more minutes of violence.
You know what my favorite part
Which
of
is
this
not true, because it's mostly just Clark Kent investigating Batman. Sorry, go ahead. That's my favorite. But it's really 30 more minutes of violence.
think they had any violence. But my favorite part is that he says, "I would say this movie is amazing. 3 stars."
Oh, that's pretty good.
Oh,
15-year-old kid, super disappointing, 2-star review. Worst movie this year. Batman v Superman has some good features and fights, but a boring, extremely long movie. It's just not as good as Man of Steel. It was too serious and dark for a movie where 2 lighthearted characters fight each other.
okay, I got one. Teen
Yeah.
15, 4 stars. Decent movie. Okay, one thing that no review site has got it is the fact that there is nudity. The bathtub scene is more
Wow!
than anyone has mentioned. There was breast nudity, and though it isn't hugely obvious, it's still pretty graphic. This movie is quite dark, and it's
Wait,
one.
the breast nudity?
Yeah, the breast nudity.
That is some graphic breast nudity. Okay.
And it's one of the best and worst depictions of Batman. Stupidest line is when Superman says Martha and Batman stops beating him up for it. Lots of violence and some skin-bearing dresses make this a lot more suitable for older teens.
Interesting. 14-year-old,
Gosh darn
1-star review. Sorry, what?
Said, gosh darn breast nudity.
That was really strange.
That's
Real
the
disappointment.
entire reason I read that.
I was expecting a cool fight, but it's just 1 hour leading up to the fight. No, it's longer than that. But it is so boring you can't really understand why they are fighting. And the fight is only about 10 minutes long. I would go on, but spoilers are ahead. And he doesn't write anything else.
Oh, so one person wrote like a haiku.
Oh, really?
That's just how it's like how it looks. 13-year-old, 2 stars. Boring letdown for DC. This movie is a big disappointment for DC. Violent and dark. Lois and Clark start to have sex in a tub, but nothing is shown. Some language, but not much.
Wow. I never thought I would see this much written about the tub scene.
Yeah, okay. Part 3 of your rewind needs to just be tub stuff.
It's all I'm gonna write about.
It was all building to that.
13-year-old, very disappointing, 2-star review. Horacle. It's a Horacle movie.
Oh
Nope.
God, kid, I don't think you can say words like that.
That's my favorite bird of prey. Don't show your kids this until they're a tween. There are many plot holes and things you'd only understand if you read the comics. I absolutely hated Lois Lane's character, although I do hope Ben Affleck returns as Batman. Okay, Austin, find us one more, man.
Yeah, I'm looking.
Okay, sorry, can I read this one real quick?
Yep.
10-year-old kid, 3-star review. He just spoils the ending. In 2016. It was okay, but not the best. Good movie. Kind of good. I say that because he sounds like Christopher Walken.
Oh, here, which
Can you
one
read
is
it like Christopher? 12 plus.
It was okay, but not the best. Okay,
Yeah.
hold on. Let me see. Is that towards the bottom?
No, it's like halfway down.
I must see. What are the reviews around it?
There's a 14-year-old kid. There's a 16-year-old kid.
Oh, okay. I just
Can
found
you see it?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was okay, but not the best.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
You always gotta start with wow. Wow.
Yeah, you gotta get yourself there. Okay. It was okay, but not the best. Good movie. Kind of good. I say that because Batman and Superman do not really fight. They team up to fight a creature. Ooh. Sad at the very sad at the very end. Sorry, sad at the end. Very sad. Superman died. There you go.
Thanks for doing that. That was great. I just couldn't believe you spoiled the ending. You just went, Superman died.
Because it was sad at the end. Very sad.
Oh, it's just fantastic.
I got the one underneath.
Large amounts of
Teens.
drinking and cursing and romance. There's large amounts. I wish there was more amounts of romance. So I understand why Lois is his world. Sorry, go ahead.
Uh, so it's teen, 14, 4 stars. Good movie for adults and teens. Great story. Not too much language, drinking, and sex. Only one scene that included a woman's bare shoulders, legs, back, and man's chest. Some kissing. Some hard concepts for children to understand. I recommend this movie for teens and adults. Great for parents and teens to watch together.
Some hard concepts for me to understand.
Hardcore women's shoulders. Am I right, guys?
Okay, I'll read this last one. 14-year-old kid, two-star review. It was okay. I never really noticed the violence in this movie nor the language. They do have shooting and explosions that could maybe send questions into kids' brains or whatever.
It's the box.
The mother box?
No, like from the Riddler. It's like directing it straight into
Oh,
your brain.
yeah. No, that's great. Yeah, the Enigma box. I thought you were suggesting that the movie could make kids susceptible to the anti-life equation.
I mean, probably could.
Now, Man of Steel, I was bummed about. Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. You gotta be kidding me. This movie should just be called Dawn of Justice, since Batman and Superman only fought for about, 10 minutes through the whole 2.5 hour movie. I guess it's a way to advertise and attract more viewers? Question mark? I really like Bruce Wayne. I forgot the actor's name. Like, you're on the internet. You can look it up. All right. I forgot the actor's name. He was pretty cool. A good Batman. I was kind of a bit weary on Superman. He was all right. A lot of the scenes in this movie are pretty useless, so be prepared for absolute boredom.
Oh, okay. I got this next one underneath that I gotta do.
Okay, go ahead.
Team 16, 3 stars. See the good things about the movie.
Okay, you tell me about the good things.
In this overhyped DC movie. Okay, how can you say it's overhyped if you're saying look at the good things?
Yeah.
But in this overhyped DC movie, Batman faces Superman for the first time. The action is great with Batman stealing the show. Ben Affleck is probably Batman we've seen so far. I had to make sure that I read that right. Okay.
He's probably Batman we've seen so far.
Come on, 16-year-old. We've had like reviews written
Yeah,
by
you're
a
16.
10-year-old.
We read an 8-year-old kid that was a way better writer than you, dude.
Wonder Woman was also great, and I can't say that her score is free. And I can say that her score is freaking awesome. The whole cast is great with one exception. Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor is just ridiculous. He acts more like a megalomaniac and more like the Riddler. It's like Jim Carrey plays him. As a whole, the movie is a solid badass film.
Jim Carrey.
It's
like
the villain from actor.
The villain from Powerpuff Girls is also Jim Carrey. Just Jim Carrey just shows up and goes, "Yes."
Well, Jim Carrey is pretty awesome.
Well, there you go, guys. There's some reviews from children about Batman v Superman. Hope you enjoyed that. Austin, that was hilarious.
Makes you question where our world is going, but it's pretty good.
Yeah. I feel a little bit less out of touch and kind of want to go back to the way I was. But no, some of that was really like decently written though. Like a few of those, I'm like, oh no, what's happened to the schools? And then there's other places where I'm like, oh, that kid's only 8. He's doing a good job. Like,
yeah, except for you, 16-year-old. I hope you're still in grade 3.
Anyway, thanks a lot for watching, folks, and we'll see you again with lots more stuff here this week on Geekvolution. I am Captain Logan, and check out more of the BVS Rewind as it's coming out. It's in 4 parts now, and a new one coming up on Friday. Anyway, once again, I'm Captain Logan. This is The Day Ghost.
I am the child bullying ghost. Have a good night, everybody.
Later, folks.